Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what I feel. Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what.
Resident Evil's RE-verse so far. So far with Resident Evil verse, they've added some update stability finally, and it's torn down the middle with people right now. I can't speak for everyone else. See, I'm one of the optimistic people about Resident Evil multiplayer because I found Resistance fun when I would play by myself or I would play with my cousins or with friends. I enjoy the co-op aspects of Resident Evil from other games that I play with family and friends and online. So if you want to think so, go check out my Resident Evil playlist that I played with Mad Reviewer Kiyoma. We played Resident Evil 5, and you know the shenanigans that took place there. But Resident Evil Verse is initially supposed to be add-on. It's a standalone game, but it was going to be an add-on to Resident Evil Village. But I'm kind of glad that they did take their time, because the game works the way it should be. Yes, I'm not trying to quote Todd Howard, but it just works, and I did it anyway. It's oddly fun due to its simplicity. Now, by my understanding, Capcom is going to support this game. It's kind of like, this is the Dragon Ball Breakers of Resident Evil. It's more fun than it should be, and look, I am a hardcore Resident Evil fan. Don't judge me. I have the Battle Pass. I'm trying to unlock everything, because I'm having that much fun. And I haven't been able to get a chance to play with my cousins yet, and some of my online co-hosts and friends are still going to try to get this game when it goes down. So, at least by that time, there'll be quite a few people that could at least play it, and we'll get together and live stream it then. But this game, it's unexpectedly good, but needs to be improved in a lot of areas. I like the character selection. At least right now, we have a balanced selection of main heroes from the remake series and the villain monsters of the remake series. But compared to its initial beta, because I didn't even realize the day that I played it in advance, you were allowed to play the beta 24 hours in advance. So when I figured that out, and now that I have access to what is essentially the full game, I'm still having fun with it like in the beta. It's still, I will admit, combat, fighting each other, and I mean this in the good way, you get into a clusterfuck of fights. There's like fighting everywhere, and you're probably going to hear my dog scratching at the door. The clusterfuck of fighting that just goes on in this game, it's fun. I mean, I don't win a lot of the matches, but well, clearly I have one guy at least in the top 3, usually at number 3. Only one time on stream I got to number 1, that's because I played as Nemesis. And my preferred character is Jill Valentine, backup Chris Redfield, then Leon. I really don't use Claire or Hunk. Well, I did use Hunk a lot, but I kind of dropped off using Hunk in favor of Jill because Jill has some excellent combat routine with that knife. And this plays like any other add-on multiplayer game to a main title. You get basic things to level up with, but it's how you use the license. And I could tell Resident Evil really wants to break out into multiplayer. If this game gets more support than Resistance, because Resistance, a lot of people underestimated Resistance, and a lot of people still play it. There's a fan base for it. It's fun. Resident Evil gives you a unique type of fun. I think if you can just let the single player games be horror games, but give us little games like this to go back after we don't play the single player games, give us a game we can keep playing with our friends that gives us our Resident Evil fix. You know? I guarantee, probably give it a month, maybe a month or two, they're working on a bunch of stuff. I heard that they're working on a survival mode, which would work for this game. A team deathmatch, because right now there's only one mode, a deathmatch. But I mean, look at Fortnite. Fortnite had one mode, and it's a free-to-play. It's one mode is a battle royale, where at least this one, I think they're giving you a feel for what other modes can be like, but you're going to kill each other first in this mode, which is still fun. I like free-for-all type battles. It really pushes you to fight harder, and you don't know who could transform into one monster, even though there's 5 monsters as well. It just depends who transforms into them, who gets into the fight. Players use the monsters in their own ways. Yes, they might be the same. Like some like to charge, some like the defensive play, some could just outright kill you. Some play as the full-fledged like Nemesis and Mr. X mutated with the firearm. But you have to get the biocanisters to do it. And there's a nice selection of weapons here from the Resident Evil universe, at least in the remakes. I think what a lot of people need to know going into this game is it's going for simplistic fun. And it's been a while since we've had games that are just fun the way they are instead of being fun behind paywalls. Remember, in most EA games, you're not having fun until you're spending money. But Capcom, though with they've had shady DLC practices in the past, but you can't say that their DLCs have been bad as of late. And this is, I don't know if this game you can buy it on its own. I could see it probably being 20, 25, maybe 30, that's pushing it, as to be bought if you didn't have Resident Evil 8. Because if you have Resident Evil 8, you can instantly access this. And after waiting a year, they could have done more, but I think they wanted to make sure the game worked first, because it did look rough when it was initially shown. Here, combat's fast and fluent. You can actually control the character the way you would if you were playing the third-person game, just with added abilities. It feels like that just on fast forward, because you have to constantly battle everybody. You have to constantly shoot, dodge, and try not to get executed. I mean, I got fucking executed by Mr. X coming out of nowhere with that giant claw and shoving it right through my gut and my torso. And speak of the devil, he pops out of nowhere. My favorite map so far, there's only 2 maps too. That's one thing I had to talk about. There's only 2 maps, the police station and the Baker's Plantation. The police station, by default, is the best map. It has a wide range of closed corridors, only one open area, where the Bakersfield, it's kind of a big open area with 2 small sides. I'm pretty sure they're going to add maps taking place in the city streets of Raccoon City. There's plenty of Resident Evil locations to utilize for this kind of game. I mean, if you have Resident Evil 8 right now, the Shadow of Rose DLC came out. I don't personally have it yet. I want to get it as soon as I can, but I got some things coming up. But Resident Evil Verse is a fun little game. If you're going into the mentality of a Resident Evil, full-fledged multiplayer, you need to look at this as Resistance level. People still play Resistance. For some reason, this game and Resident Evil Resistance still have a balanced player base, so you can play both games and still get matches and play with people. That's always a good thing, because Resistance is very, very underrated. Clearly, a lot of people enjoy it. Hell, Resident Evil channels still play it to this day, because unfortunately, we don't have Outbreak. Capcom, I'm asking nicely, and I don't want to get mad, but when is a remake? You got the template of the first 2 Outbreak files, 1 and 2. Come on, Capcom. Give me a Resident Evil Outbreak remake with similar mechanics to Verse and Resistance, except take away any timer limits, let people just go buck ham in a level. I mean, imagine playing a third-person RE Engine Resident Evil Outbreak. Come on, Capcom. You know you want to. Anyway, that's all I gotta say is RE-Verse so far. It's a fun game, but that's my personal opinion. I don't know if you'll enjoy it. If you have Resident Evil 8, go ahead and try out Verse. You have instant access to it. Who knows? You might have fun playing with your friends, or you might have fun playing by yourself. Keep an eye out for any future videos, live streams, and I'll see you all next time.